Good evening, everybody. It's your boy D Max. So let's talk. Well, earlier I was talking about labels and how people will place labels on you in order to single you out so that they can make an example of you, cancel you, or whatever they want to do. This has always been the method, this has always been the formula, and it's no different. The only difference is that now they're breaking it down and they're making these, I guess you would call them sub labels to divide us even further. They have us divided as far as politics goes. They have us divided as far as ethnicity goes. But now they want to divide us even further, and they'll use tactics such as labeling. And this is going to open up different levels of division within the division that we already have. So let me break this down a little bit. So they'll call you an alpha male, and that'll separate you from the betas or the sigmas. They'll call you, let's see, what's something that they can call you? There's so many labels out here that we go by. Oh, I'm an introvert. That means that I stay in and stay to myself all the time as opposed to extroverts. I'm a narcissist, or I'm a bipolar, or I'm this and I'm that. There's so many different labels that people will gravitate towards for the simple fact that I don't think that we as a people are these things that they're labeling us. I think that they will put a label out there and people will gravitate to that label. And this is what's really happening. So these labels are not really pointing out anything. It's just causing people to identify with things and add things onto their character that wasn't there before, or that they saw was familiar, and they adopted the rest of what was said. This is what I believe wholeheartedly, because I've seen people who's been called something their whole entire life. You're sorry, you're lazy, you're nothing. And they responded to that by being exactly what they were called. When you've been called something for so long, you think that's what you are. I remember in the movie, what was it? Antoine Fisher. Antoine Fisher, where he said the woman called him the N word so much that he thought that was his name. And that's absolutely true. The psyche of a person, we obtain information and we retain information through repetition. And so if somebody's continuously labeling you as something, either you're going to reject it and you're going to stop them from calling you that, or you're going to adopt that label and you're going to start act within those characteristics of that label that was placed on you. So what are people calling you and what are you answering to? That is the question. I've heard people call people so many things and they answer to it without a second thought. Hey B, you answer to it, no second thought. That means you're a female dog. So you're answering to the identity of a female dog now, but you get mad if somebody treats you like a female dog. A N word. Okay, so now you're answering to the label of ignorant person without any understanding, and you get mad when somebody treats you like you don't have any understanding or intelligence. Hey, what's up, my dog? I ain't no dog. But these are labels. These are all labels that we have to separate us. And when I say that's my dog, that's my homeboy. That's somebody that's been down with me for a long time, as opposed to my op. Now, op is your opposition or your enemy. So all of these labels, these words haven't been created. They've already been here in the dictionary and all of that. But these words are being used and weaponized to divide us as people. That's exactly what's going on. So if you're not keen on words, then I would suggest that you get you a dictionary, Webster's, or whatever, but make sure you have a dictionary and you understand the words that are being used when people refer to you or referring to something that pertains to you. Because in essence, when we speak, we're speaking spells. We speak things into existence. The power of our words. That's how Yahweh created everything. He spoke. And so, being that we are in the image of Yahweh, our words create things, and our words do not return to us void until it accomplishes what it's set out to do. Now, that's whether it's good or bad. So, if you send that word out to hurt, it's going to go out and hurt. But guess what? That same hurt is going to come back to you. So, when that word of hurt returns back to you, be ready to take that word of hurt that's going to be coming back at you, just like the one you sent out with that same energy. So, once again, I ask, what are you answering to? I've been called so many different things. I've been called a dog. I've been called a hoe. I've been called evil. I've been called a narcissist. I've been called manipulative. I've been called um, selfish. I've been called so many different things. But what do I answer to? I answer to my name. And I answer to the title that I respectfully placed on myself, which is King Kunta. I'm not going to answer to any of those other things because I know it's not me. Somebody say, hey man, Kunta, a tree. Look at that tree over there. I know I'm not a tree. I don't have any bark. I don't have any limbs or leaves hanging out for me. I don't have any roots. I'm not rooted in the ground. So I know I'm not a tree. So I'm not going to answer to that. Or if somebody keep calling me a tree, at some point I'll be like, dude, why are you calling me a tree? What is this whole tree thing? I'm going to confront that situation and see why this person thinks I'm a tree. And whatever reason they give for thinking I'm a tree, okay, well, if that's what you see when you see me, then your perception is your reality. And I'll leave it at that. But I'm not going to sit and argue with somebody and fight with somebody over something that they call me. And I tell everybody this, you can call me whatever you want from a distance. You can say whatever you want to about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and all of that stuff from a distance. Because if you're within arm's reach of me, that means that you are invading my personal space. And now I feel threatened. And when I feel threatened, I have to eliminate the threat by any means necessary. And that is what I'm really good at doing. So I I get rid of that issue by simply doing this. Hey man, whatever your issue is, it's your issue. It don't have nothing to do with me. If I did anything to cause an issue with you, we can talk it out and settle the issue. Or if not, you can move around because otherwise it's gonna go somewhere bad, and we don't need it to go anywhere bad. And so this is what I tend to do whenever people address me outside of my name, which doesn't happen too often. And if it does, it's said behind my back, so they're not gonna say it to my face. And that's quite all right. That's perfectly fine. But anytime I hear somebody speaking about somebody else, calling them out of their name and things like that, I begin to wonder to myself, so if you call that person all of these things behind their back, would you really say it to their face? Because that's the determining factor of whether you believe what you're saying or not. If you're willing to say the same thing to their face with the same energy and confidence that you say it behind their back, okay, then we can go somewhere with that. But if you just talk behind people back and then when they get in your face, you start to backpedal and you start to, oh, well, I heard it from so and so, and you start passing the buck off to somebody else, then that lets me know what you are. You just really trying to start some mess. You're a bully and you're a toxic person, and misery loves company. And so now I have to deal with you accordingly. So, let's not get in this thing where we're labeling people. All of these different labels that are coming out every single other day. It's like every other day you have a new label to describe somebody. And I'm not going to cater to those descriptions because there's a lot of things that you can say out there that might touch on something that I've been through in my life. And if you've been living long enough, you've experienced a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that might relate to some things you've been through in your life. That's just the game of numbers and the game of ratio and figures. But to adopt a label that somebody says to you, somebody places on you. This is where the bullying comes from. That's the verbal bullying that destroys people's self-esteem and confidence. And you believe those things that people are telling you about yourself. How can somebody tell you about yourself? That's what I've been trying to figure out. Nobody is going to dictate to me who I am, what I am, when they don't know the life that I've lived and everything that went into my life to make me this person. People can have a broad overview and they can have a generalized idea of some of your behaviors, but they cannot put any label on you at all. So all of these labels that y'all are accepting from these mental health professionals, be careful with those labels that you're accepting from them, because a lot of times you will adopt a lot of the characteristics that come with that label and it's not even you. And some people do it just as a scapegoat thing so that they can say, oh, well, I'm a so and so. That's why I do this. That's another reason that people will attach themselves to labels so that they won't have any accountability. That's one of the primary reasons why people accept labels. Oh, well, I'm an alpha male. That's just how I am. Oh, well, I'm an introvert. That's just how I am. Oh, well, I'm just this. That's just the way we are. So many people do that just so that they won't have to be accountable for what they really are. So let's not give them that option, y'all. We can no longer give people that option by giving them these labels and giving them an out. See, they're not going to face their issues and they're not going to deal with their problems if you continually give them a reason why other than the true reason. And when they get to the bottom of the true reason, hey, I saw you in here. Whoever you was just peeking, thanks for peeking. But yeah, where was I at? Man, I lost my train of thought on that. But anyway, yeah, those labels, they give people a sense of protection so that they can go and do stupid stuff. And that's like with my PTSD. I've been told before that I use my PTSD as a crutch, and I probably have in some instances. To be honest, let's just be really real and transparent. Yeah, sometimes we do use these things, these labels that have been placed on us to benefit us and to work in our favor. That's like if I was to go out here and I was to really, really hurt somebody, oh, best believe my first defense in court would be, hey, I got PTSD, I'm on papers for it, and I got this, and that. They caught me at a bad time, and boom, and that in the court of law could be a viable excuse to get me out of the consequences that I'm actually facing and give me lighter consequences. So we take these labels and we accept them and we latch on to these things so that we will have a reason to do some of the things that we do and not have to be accountable for it. Yeah, I repeated it so you can hear it because repetition is the way that we retain information. Um, wow, man, that was really good. So I'm going to leave on that note, guys. Just make sure that you're not answering to these labels that people are trying to place on you. You have to rebuke certain stuff that people speak into your life, because if you don't, then that spirit that they spoke it in is going to transfer. And if you open yourself up or you're vulnerable, you will accept it and you will receive it. That's why so many children today are out here suffering from low self-esteem, is because other children and grown-ups alike have spoken things into their lives that has destroyed them. They've spoken negativity into these children's lives, and they've totally redirected the path of their life based on the things that they've said about these children, these innocent, helpless children who are just trying to learn. And the things that they call them and get mad at them about are the things that the children pick up from seeing the person who's calling them those things. And so we have to be mindful of what we say. The power of the tongue is real. So what are you answering to? What are they calling you? I'm answering to King Kunta. And I won't answer to anything else because I know what I am and I know who I am. And I hold myself in that regard at all times. So if you call me anything outside of that, you're going to hear crickets. But if you call me by my name or you call me by my correct title, then I will be inclined to answer. Yo, you know what I say. This is your boy D Mac. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.